Hi everyone, as my program has come to an end, I thought it would be fun to make a little video about my finances and expenses throughout my trip. I know this is a topic that's much less spoken about, but I think it's still very important because it really impacted my decision to go on this trip and how much to budget myself and save up during the school year in order to be able to go on it. So I thought it'd be cool if I shared a little bit about how much I spent in a detailed version because I know coming into it I had no references really besides the budget sheet they gave us on how much to bring and save up, and I couldn't find anyone else's experience, so hopefully by me sharing mine you get a little bit of a better idea. So first I'm going to show you. So I made a Google Sheet, and over the summer I tracked every purchase that I made and I categorized it so I could see at the end of the summer how much I spent on what. I ended up bringing $2,500 in my bank account, and then I brought 175 euros, but it actually cost me $206 because first they have to convert it and then there was a fee to get it converted. And I ended up spending $2,026, leaving me with $648. But the way I did it was I did it by date, and each time I made a purchase, I put it in the categories, as you can see, and then each week I totaled how much I spent that week to kind of keep myself on track, because originally I took this number and divided it by 9 because we had 9 weeks, and I kind of said, okay, just try to spend whatever that amount is within each week. And then as the weeks went by, I had a little more left, and then I would use it to travel and stuff like that. Also, something that was a little tricky was I ended up getting bed bugs, which was not fun, but we had to go to the hospital, we had to wash all our clothes and all that stuff. So that was a little tricky, so I added it under like medical, and we had laundry fees and medical fees, which would be reimbursed but not till later. So I tried to keep track of that. Then I got COVID. So with COVID, the nice thing that they did for me was they said they'd reimburse all my meals, but I also had to keep track of that because it was still coming out of my budget that I allocated, but even though it was being reimbursed, I still didn't have the money then, so I kept track of that and tried to keep it incorporated. And then, yeah, we had bed bugs again, so I had to do my laundry fees again and stuff like that. So ignore all that, and also, yeah, maybe leave in a little extra money in case something like that happens to you. Hopefully it doesn't, but yes. And then down here, I just have tracked how much each trip I took was. So Sitges was just a little city, a little 45 minutes away from Barcelona, so I didn't really track that. But Porto, I took a 2-day trip to Porto and it cost me $316. I took a 3-day trip to London and it cost $428 or $429 almost. And then I took another 3-day trip to Valencia and that cost me $237. Okay, so this is the budget worksheet that IES gives you as you go abroad for the summer. And this bottom part here is all of your personal expenses related to the trip that doesn't go to IES or the program fees. So the only thing that was really accurate for me was this flight. My flight cost $963. I was not in any classes, so I didn't have any course-related fees. I was in an apartment, and they said that they projected that I would spend around $1,900 on meals, and I didn't spend anywhere close to that. So if we see here, on groceries I spent $210, and then on restaurants I spent $450, and then I don't know if you want to count drinks and going out, but that's just another $200. So really I only spent like $660 or more, like plus the drinks, maybe like $800, $900 over the whole summer, so I didn't really get anywhere near the $1,900, but I also tried to cook a lot of my meals with my groceries, and I didn't eat out every single night, but I know other people did eat out a lot of nights because they weren't as much into cooking. So if you're not someone who likes to grocery shop or cook, I would maybe a little more money for yourself to go out and eat. But so then we have rental or purchase of a cell phone. For me, I just got a SIM card, and it cost me 20 euros for 4 weeks, and then I just renewed it, and then for the last week I did a 10 euro one, so that cost me 50 euros. So I averaged it to around $55, and then optional IES Abroad field trips. It really depends on what you want to do. There's tons of options, but from what I did around $50 to $100 worth of those. I had to get canceled because of COVID and stuff like that, but it really depends on what you want to do, but they will have those amounts given to you up front, so you can already prepare when you sign up for those. Like, no need to estimate it, it's just however many you signed up for is your total. And then personal expenses, that does not include student travel. I did around 342 because I averaged I added these three, so I added drinks and going out, clothes, and etc., which was just souvenirs for my friends, stuff for the apartment, just random stuff that didn't fit into any of these categories. And you can put drinks and going out into your food or your just personal expenses. It kind of just depends on what you're doing that night. And that to me was $342. And then I'm a big person who likes to spend on experiences, so that is why my travel was 1,026, because I included all things like going on trips, doing things like touristy things, doing little tours, guides, stuff like that. So that is that. So total minus personal travel, I spent around 1,100 to 1,200, and then add the travel. I spent probably another 1,000 on travel, so that was totaling to $2,026 for 9 weeks. Personally, I'm not a huge spender. As you saw, I'm more of a spender on experiences. But if you are very into clothes, maybe add more for clothes for yourself. If you know you like going out, maybe add more there. If you know you love eating out, add more there. Okay, that's about it for my finances. I hope this served as a good resource for you to give you a better idea of how much money you need to save up and budget for your trip. Again, do not go strictly off my spending. We are all going to spend money differently. I bet if I went to Barcelona a second time and did the exact same thing, I would be spending a way different amount than I did this first time. The whole thing is a learning experience and all of that. So definitely I just want you to use it as a resource and kind of gauge your interests based off my interests and stuff like that. And I will link this template or a copy of it below so you can kind of like switch around the numbers, play around, see how much you need to spend, and then hopefully you have a good budget going on. Definitely bring a little more than you think, just in case. Like I said, I spent more on stuff that I think I'm going to be reimbursed for, but I needed to allot money for it, stuff like that. I know it is not fun to think about and kind of a pain, but it's also very important to make sure we're prepared for the fun summer, because you don't want to be worrying about not having enough money by the time you get to like weeks 8 and 9, because you just want to like finish out strong. And yeah, so I hope you guys have a fun summer if you go.